highs middle 80s and afternoon in the Coachella Valley. Sunshine makes it through the afternoon, high 95. Forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. It's another week, another fun time to be alive. A lot of things happening in the world, including a lot of weather. Really bad, by the way. I was looking up some video, and not gonna lie, unless we show the actual stuff, you'd be like, it can't be that bad. It's bad. Puerto Rico has a huge situation there. Anybody who has a Puerto Rico family, do you remember when there was a Puerto Rico situation and then the president was like, well, it's an island. What do you expect? We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
That is true. I actually just read about that earlier today. A lot of, I think almost all of Puerto Rico doesn't have any electricity right now due to the hurricane.
Yeah.
But there are always problems right now in Puerto Rico. I remember this giant fight between, what was it? This hotel that was building something near the beach. But yeah, the people protested. They were able to take it down because I think they were trying to like privatize the beach.
That makes sense.
And a lot of places you're not allowed to do that, like Hawaii and stuff like that. For everybody, not just for the rich people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but Puerto Rico, I saw was experiencing power outages. The water looks extreme there. It's almost like if there was a movie of disaster, I would take all the video footage of like Puerto Rico and then make a movie of it, like the aftermath of Puerto Rico. Because last time there was a problem, they had a huge situation getting like them helped out. So they were out of power for I think months, to be honest. And Puerto Rico was like, "Did you forget about us? We're part of the U.S. Like, what's going on?" You know. And I've always wanted to check out Puerto Rico. Not gonna lie, I thought like vacationing there is pretty good. Actually, the filming industry is really neat there, and they give you extra real good like credit back if you have a film worth like millions of dollars. I think it's as much as like 20% where they give you back, and so that's good for your investor. If you have like $1 million thing, they'll get at least $200,000 back if you film there. The only thing is you got to hire the crew there, so there's ways around it because sometimes certain crews are kind of lax and sometimes not up to speed. Because I think there was a situation that happened in Puerto Rico when it came to something with safety. So you got to be careful with certain production houses that you use or companies. But I saw that, so that's a real bad situation. And then I saw Japan. If you look at Japan, they have a huge typhoon right now. It's so huge, like there's places underwater right now. So that's real bad. And then I'm like, okay, there's a huge earthquake that just happened. That's bad. And I was like, okay, and it was like a 7-pointer, as low as like a 6.8, I believe. And that was in, I believe, I always get these two mixed up. It was Taiwan. Taiwan had a huge couple of earthquakes. As high as 7.2 is the highest one. The other ones are coming in at 6.8, 6.9. Massive structure destruction, Jesse. And so that area's been in the news as of late because, of course, China has been saying, look, that's the one where Pelosi went and then they like bombed the area, like warning shots, as they say. But there's nothing like warning about a bomb going off in like, you know what I mean? So they've been bracing for war because they're kind of like Ukraine, be prepared for invasion. Does that make sense? And it's kind of like all the big boys, China, Russia, are taking over the land all of a sudden. Even Biden said something about the situation as of late. He may be, I don't know if it'll be a situation or if it's just like a warning. Sometimes they kind of like, talk about things in a weird way and they say certain things, but, will it be a war? I don't know. He put a very strong thing out about some things happening, and so like this one, I'll give you an example. Biden warns Putin not to change the face of war by using nuclear and or chemical weapons, right? Because there's been a lot of things about that. So he kind of came out finally and said it very clear. Hey, Not going to happen. Okay. So when the president usually says that, whether you believe he's kind of president of action or a president that just kind of does, a president has to do something when it comes to like, threat. And so that's a situation. I said it before, a lot of people here on the west side are kind of like, no, we're, what? They get a little confused, Jess, when I talk about this, because I'm like, New York has like a state of emergency when it comes to like polio. They just announced this about a week ago or so. And so they have a huge concern for that because they've been testing the water and basically it's already like there. So if you go to New York anytime soon, you should be 100% careful because a lot of people have polio, they don't even know it. So that's the situation. So they're like, okay, we need help here with that. So, now the other situation is China, right? And we knew ahead of time, I know Jesse and I were talking about this when Ukraine was the situation because they were bracing for basically, remember when I said there were women there, like that were, in their 80s taking up arms because they were not prepared to like defend themselves. Do you remember that? Remember, it was a while back.
Yes, I do. I do remember.
Yeah, so we were talking about that, and then all of a sudden, like within about a month or so, invasion. Right now, it's the thing. Right now, we've been seeing some pushing from Ukraine to Russia, but at the end of the day, will it be enough? I don't know. It's a world power, right? And so when Biden says something about it, you go, okay, that means the U.S. is going to probably do something pretty soon, because rarely do they make a statement like that and not do anything, right? Of course, some are like, well, that depends. So there's a lot of news on both, like, let's put it this way. There's so many things happening in the world. If I were the president right now, I'd be like, okay, let's deal with that, and that, right? Anything to protect people. Because at the end of the day, the question is, will it come onto the state, right? And I know we live in a time where it's like, we haven't had a bomb here and like, I mean, there have been like little bombs, like maybe like terrorist bombs, but not like a full world power coming at us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That see, I was mentioning someone. I'd be like, it would be pretty impossible for a foreign nation to come in and actually invade us with people.
It
Would be
would be
something
actually. You're right.
like
Good point.
what was
Why'd you
that?
say that?
What was that movie? Wolverine. Oh, Red Dawn. Remember that movie? Have you ever
No.
seen that? We have so many crazy people here with guns. I doubt anybody would want to try and invade this country.
Yeah, you're right. On ground, it's very difficult to invade. That's true. But a missile, not hard, right? And back to something that we're talking about, because some people are like, "What are you talking missile, man? I'm having fun. This is like a good day. It's a good week. It's a good month, right? I'm prepared for like the winter, November and December. Can't wait for the holidays, right?" But here's what I mean by this. This is kind of a prelude. If it goes one of like, I don't know. We'll see. But my point is that warning or that PSA that they had in New York, that people were kind of like, why are we having a PSA on nuclear, is a situation that I think Washington hasn't really fully said, hey, people, we need to be prepared for this. Kind of like, and I know a lot of people don't know this because you weren't alive. I wasn't alive. I know Jesse wasn't alive. But people that are like your parents, probably even your mom, Jess, would remember this when it came to Kennedy. When it came to Kennedy and it came to Cuba and it came to Russia, if you do research on that, the Bay of the Pigs was a really big thing. So in the U.S., people were buying bomb shelters. They were doing all kinds of stuff because they were prepared for invasion of nuclear, right? And why are you shaking your head, Jess?
You know what? I think my mom was born in the early 60s, so is that around that time? I don't know.
How old's your mom?
Only 20 years older than me. She's one of the ones that had the kids early.
Okay. Well, she was a kid then.
She was born, I'm not going to say the year, but she was born in the 60s. Don't try to do the math. You're not allowed to guess women's ages.
Got okay. Because I already did my mom's age, but she was a kid then. Okay, so she would be kind of like, I would ask her this: do you remember when Kennedy died? Then okay, at least she was alive. Okay, then her parent, your grandparents, right, would remember 100%. when it came to nuclear. Okay, so a lot here on the West Coast weren't as impacted, but like places like Arizona and other like states that were very aware of it. If you do some research, and you'll see how close we were to nuclear invasion. Okay, if he didn't put that little like situation in the sea of like, okay, you guys are getting close, because they were basically taking warheads and wanting to put them to Cuba. That's why it made a huge situation with Cuba. So I know a lot of people don't know their history, but you look at like, that's the past. So you go, but we're here. But if Kennedy didn't do that, we'd have a problem, because it would be like so close with Cuba being, I mean, some people actually travel there, right, from Florida, so close to them just like hitting the south and east side, right? Texas, 100% were like, oh no, right? The Gulf of Mexico, right? A huge situation. You don't want to let anybody in there and then bomb you. Although technically, submarines can get there pretty quick and pretty fast, because it's kind of hard to see every single thing. Unless you have radar with, like ability to say like, okay, there is the submarine, right? You can see like whales, obviously. You can see a submarine, right, from space. But my point is this, okay? So we're here from that, but the president had to do a certain set of action, and a lot of people were like, no, let's just go to war. He's like, no, we're going to do this, and it was a really big thing before he was assassinated, Jess. If you do the research, the Bay of Pigs is a very interesting, there's a movie on it, actually, if you want to just kind of get schooled on it real fast, because that's kind of where we're at right now. And in essence, that's kind of what the president is like alluding to, right? And the Bay of Pigs, actually, yeah, you're probably right, Jess. April 17, 1961, April 20, 1961, was the situation of the Bay of Pigs invasion. It was a failed landing operation on the southwestern coast of Cuba by Cuban exiles who opposed Fidel Castro's Cuban Revolution. Actually, Fidel partook in it. I don't know why it says this. But it wasn't failed. It was that they stopped because of Kennedy. Kennedy said, no, you cross this line, we're going to bomb the heck out of you. That was a huge situation. Now, I don't know if the U.S. was completely aware of it at the time, but there's a lot of movies on the subject. So you should check it out. And it's called 13 Days. Really good movie. Some great actors. And in fact, yeah, it's really good. I really enjoy it. And that one kind of, I said, okay, there's a lot of things I don't know about that, but man, oh man, and then here we are today where the president's kind of making a prelude to a situation of what we've been talking about, nuclear. A lot of information about the plant, right? The power plant, which is already nuclear, and then bombing, a power plant. And from what I understand, they bombed a few other power plants. Again, why, I don't know. It's kind of like a hitting something that can go, how do I explain it? Like, if you want to create a lot of damage, you hit a power plant. If that happened here, that would be called terrorism. You get it? And then we'd be like, oh yeah, let's get those terrorists out of here, right? That would be 100% terrorism. Sometimes they say like a little guy is a terrorist, and people get upset. They go, no, that's not a terrorist. This is a terrorist. Kind of like, 9/11. That's terrorist, right? It's obvious. But there are terrorists, that are cells, which is why Homeland Security exists, which is why, Pentagon and others share a lot of information about like terrorist cells, right? Or terror cells. So that's kind of the situation when it comes to Russia. So a lot of things that we should be looking out for in the next coming weeks. Look for Biden and him saying things, because that's a prelude to something that you go, oh no. He said this specifically on 60 Minutes, I guess they featured. He says, don't. You will change the face of war unlike anything since World War II. Said that about Putin. When asked what he would tell the Russian president if he was considering using the weapons of mass destruction. If Russia does use the weapons, Biden said, it'll be consequential. The thing is, nobody watches 60 Minutes anymore, huh? Do you watch it? I don't think anyone watches it.
I do not watch regular TV at all, so I have no clue I know what 60 Minutes is. I don't watch it.
Yeah, and they have clips on YouTube, by the way, so you can check it out. It's a good news agency. A lot of people think it's more entertaining than not, but they've featured things for so long. I know, like your mom would know about 60 Minutes. Whether she watches it or not, I would think the answer is no. A lot of people don't. So I think it's interesting that it made the headlines. but they're quoting, the president. And then China's like, yeah, we don't agree with that. How dare you? Because they want to invade, which technically has to be backed up 100% because of certain, how they make certain, how do I say it, pacts and certain things like, okay, we're going to defend you. Like for example, you think of a country and you're like, okay, they are friends of the U.S., right? Israel, for example, is a friend of the U.S. And some would say, yeah, that's a problem, right? Because they don't like Israel, right? Those are certain nations. So everybody bands together against other people. So it's like, okay, what side are you on? And it's like, oh, man, are we really having that discussion? So that's the situation. Right now, Taiwan is dealing with an earthquake. They're dealing with a pandemic. They're dealing with all sorts of things. So please, please, please keep them in your thoughts. Please keep them in your prayers. It's a real bad situation there. And on top of it, you've got China wanting to invade, and the U.S. said we're going to go ahead and defend. So China said, yeah, we don't like that you're saying that, Biden, and so that's kind of the situation. Because when asked, he said, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take care of Taiwan if invaded. So there's a lot of things about war. You go, okay, how bad is it going to be? And I go, well, look, you got a time where people could go nuclear all of a sudden. And if you think of the devastation nuclear has ever caused, there's a reason we don't have nuclear like a lot, right? Hiroshima was the biggest one to date that we know of that even the U.S. said, oh boy, that's real big, right? A lot of people died in that, and there's no taking that back. And then there's fallout, and there's things that you don't want to see. Okay, if you go watch a show called Jericho, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, and usually that's launched by a terrorist, right? That's rarely launched by a U.S. person, especially here on the home front. So if you ever have a situation like that, it's terrorist. Okay, all right, people, make it a great day. We're gonna take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages.
This is Bernadette, the host of One Life Radio, your number one source for alternative and holistic health since 2011. One Life Radio is designed to educate and inspire. Visit us at oneliferadio.com because you get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there. Make the most of it. Tune in weekdays at 1 p.m. on 1490 KMET Smart Talk, ABC News Radio.
Don't let insurance companies make decisions for you. Go to Pass Auto Center in Banning, a one-stop repair facility with full collision repair, auto maintenance, service, and an authorized smog center. You'll also find a full-service used car lot to fit every budget with the right vehicle for you. Trade-ins are accepted and they pay cash for your car. Pass Auto Center at 2609 West Ramsey in Banning, just off the I-10 freeway between Sunset and 22nd. Call 951-849-7878.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
The Fat Greek in Yucaipa, where you can get authentic, delicious, true Greek food. Authentic gyros, Greek salads, pitas, falafel, hamburgers, burritos, and oh yes, baklava. The Fat Greek has a large selection of wines, ice-cold domestic, and imported Greek beers. Come on down to the Fat Greek located on Yucaipa Boulevard in the city of Yucaipa. Open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The Fat Greek has delivery, drive-through, sit-down, and a catering service. So bring in a family or give Nicholas at 909-797-6018. Eat Greek, live long. Remember, if you want authentic Greek food, it's the Fat Greek in Yucaipa.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Hello, listeners. This is Christopher from The Christopher Show. Hey, if you missed one of our shows here at KMET, don't worry about it. You can go to our webpage, and that's KMET1490am.com. Go to the homepage, click on the SoundCloud tab, and hear any show anytime you want.
Welcome back. Yes, it is morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Jesse, I know you're working on a story. What's going on over there?
Oh my God. I found I remember we were talking about cosmetic surgery?
Yes.
And different kinds of cosmetic surgery. So I was like, okay. I found one of the most unusual cosmetic surgeries, and a man, borrowed $75,000 just for it. Can you guess what he did?
Wait, hold on. He borrowed $75,000 for a surgery. Now, I will say this before you go to that. There are certain surgeries that I say, okay, they make sense. Because, there's certain things I think about my face, and I go, okay, would I? And I say no, because I don't want to go under a knife, not going to lie. But there are some that I've seen where, they have a nose, or they're okay, or a chin situation, right? Or they get made fun of because of, certain things. So I get that. $75,000 is a lot of money, though, Jess. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wait, I know what he did, but what do you think happened to him?
Well, for $75,000, I don't know if that's to borrow that much, how are you going to pay it back? That's number one. Number two, is it worth it? And number three, is a guy, how old is he?
So it just says he's in his 40s.
Okay, he's in his 40s. Okay, so he's dealt with this for a while. He obviously wants a girl, or, is he single?
It does not say. If you think it's a cosmetic surgery for his outer self, you are wrong.
Is it for his underself? I mean, what's going on here? Is it?
Oh, okay, so this is why I said it was so unusual. Okay, so this guy paid $65,000 to make himself taller. He had a leg lengthening surgery to get 3 inches taller.
That's pretty good.
You didn't know about
3 inches is pretty big, significant. Hold up. Okay, well, how tall was he?
Apparently not tall enough. I think he said it was 5'8", his height.
That's average. I mean, I don't understand if he was 5'3", 5'4". A lot of people don't get certain women because women are you're too short. Unless you're Tom Cruise, then they're ooh la la, right? But he makes up for it in what he does. You know what I mean? So okay. Question. So he got 3 inches. How long did it take for him to do this?
I'm not sure how long it takes, but I think it's a process where every certain number of months they crank up the thing, whatever. So if you look at the entire process on YouTube, it's actually quite fascinating. The fact that some people would do this to be a little taller, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it, but whatever.
I wouldn't do it. I'm 5'11", but I don't know if I would. I don't think I was 5. Okay, if I were 5'1", and that was an option, how much was it again? 60 or 70?
Around 75,000.
Okay,
75,000. I would hit 6 feet if I was to do that.
Okay, yeah. So Jesse's a pretty tall guy. He's what? You're 5'10", 5'11"?
I'm 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, I think you're 5'10".
I don't feel the need to stretch myself. Usually, when I see someone bigger than me, I call them stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did it go well for him at least?
Yeah, no, it went fine. It's a perfectly safe procedure. Apparently, a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot of people do it because I really don't know. But apparently people do this, and it's such a cool process.
Yeah, but I'll go with Eugenia. Eugenia said something very smart, and I've seen these. And sometimes I laugh at them, and sometimes I go, what if I want that? because sometimes I get a host, which is taller than me. I'm not going to lie. There's a host. When she wears heels, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, I feel like a little guy next to you. Because when she doesn't wear heels, like we look like, like I'm like maybe an inch taller, right? And that's because she has hair, right? So when she wears the heels, she looks like at least like a foot above me. That's how I feel. Not gonna lie. So I'm like, okay. So I get it. And some people don't know this, all right? Unless you're behind the scenes. I remember seeing. I'm not gonna throw this station under the bus, but there's a local station where the guy is significantly smaller than the woman because she's tall, all right? And I almost don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Christine Devine, who's a friend on Facebook, and I met a few times. She's on Fox 11, okay? She is tall, okay? I'm not going to say who, but I saw one of them look like he was taller than her, and I'm like, wait a minute. And they moved her back and him front. Now, I have seen where they actually put newscasters on a Apple box. So for those that don't know what that means, it's basically like they let them get up. And I would never do this, Jess. I would be all right with a woman, that is taller than me. I go, okay, if Tom Cruise could do it with Nicole Kidman, I can do it, right? I think that all the time. And so I say, okay, I'm gonna muscle it. I'm gonna stomach it, right? But I like what she says. She says, I'm 5 feet, dude. I could have like invented him a new high-tech shoe. He could have paid me, So right? Like they have those, right? And they give you like an inch. I don't know about 2 inches or 3 inches, but
they have those platform shoes. I've seen them before.
Yeah.
I've seen them for men.
Yeah, just wear black, and no one would even, think anything of it. You know what I mean? Until you take them off, you go, wow, you're short, right? Sometimes I deal with ladies that go like, wait, you're short, and I remember having a friend, she goes, why are you making fun of me? I'm not making fun of you. She goes, ugh. And then I realized she has a problem when she doesn't wear heels. She doesn't like to be viewed as like, short. But I'm like, well, you're shorter than you were. You kind of, because men, we think of women at a certain height because we always see them in heels, and then when they take them off, you go, well, what happened? Like, you lost a full 3 inches. Those are stilettos, people. I don't know how women walk in those. But anyway, my point is this. I'm not sure I would go under the knife for that. And like, I don't think I would want to do that. Would I want to be a little taller? I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I think about it. Like, maybe 6'1". I would be good with 6'1". I tend to have like a little bit of a hunch, which I got to work on my posture. It's very difficult. But I think I would get a full inch. Like, whenever I go to the chiropractor, and she does like work on me, I feel an inch taller. Does that make sense? And then within about a day or so, I feel short. So I don't know that I would pay for that. I think the guy's single. I think if he had a lady, he wouldn't do that. That's what I think. But yeah. Or he had just money going around. He was doing it. Like, how much can you do with $75,000, Jess? And he took a loan from it. Like, you're going to pay that off unless he plans on never paying that off.
I have no idea, but I don't know. Is he trying to join the NBA? I don't know. I think it's kind of cool, but
I can see that. I can see that. Like certain players going like, I could get an inch taller. Like, I could use that on the court. All right. Anyway, we're going to do shout outs real quick, real fast. Stephanie Reed says, hello, happy editing this glorious sunshine hours on this busy day ahead for today. She's in Ohio. We love her. We appreciate you. Viviana Tunian says, good sunny morning. Yes, it is. And although in certain areas of the world it is not. It is storm. So be careful. Be inside. And then don't be on the first level. A lot of these places, yes, I haven't been talking about. If you look at like a lot of these, like including Italy, all right, in Europe, I have a friend who's there right now. I want to send her a message like, be safe. Just go like up in stairs because anything under a level, like I can imagine certain areas getting so much storm and then you wake up and there's water in your like room, right? And you get up and you get out like from your bed and you go, what is that puddle doing here? That's the way a lot of like countries are right now, including Japan. So watch that and then keep them in your thoughts, okay? Let's see. So Rosalie says, good morning, happy Monday, beautiful people. We appreciate you. Thank you. Eugenia says, good morning, California. Yes, an underlying statement of action in his comment was interesting. Yes. And she's talking about the Biden situation we talked about a little earlier, so that's kind of making the headlines and news. Janice Welchel is tuning in. We appreciate you. And Mark Blevins. And I will say this, and it's something that I almost don't want to say, but I would say this before break. Jess, some news outlets are saying that Biden said the pandemic is over. Now, here's my question. A, does he have the right to say it? B, is he doing a Trump thing? And C, is he like... Well, I'm just going to say, is he doing a Trump thing? Because Trump said a lot of things, and then, like, he reneged. And he's like, oh, well, what I mean to say, I think what he meant to say is the pandemic is close to being over if we have certain things happening, but people are still dying. So some people are calling him out on that. And they're like, why are you saying it's over? Now, the World Health Organization is the one that actually claimed the pandemic was a situation. Everybody pay attention to that news. But they're the one that actually declared it. It wasn't the president. The president, if we remember, was like, no, it's a China thing. And then he's like, okay, fine, it's a thing. Because the World Health Organization is the one that basically says, look, we look at the whole thing all around the world, and this is a pandemic. When they say that, then certain protections are enabled. So is he getting rid of certain protections? That's, I think, the question that we need to start asking. Because when that happens, you go, okay, what are we going to do, right? And then this. Here's a headline, and we'll come back with this. Member of Boston Public Schools diagnosed with monkeypox. So that's a person in the school district getting pox. So what happens there? Do they close the school district? Do they, how do they know it doesn't get spread? We already have deaths of that forming, and people are coming out with that information. So is the pandemic over? No. And I said there are going to be some people that are going to think that. It's not over, people. Now, I will say this. If you get your latest vaccine, you're ahead of 4 and 5. But 6, 7, and 8, including some news headlines, are saying that there is a variant. It's like, let's add another one. Why not? That is causing a lot of problems. So we'll be back with more information right after this. Stay tuned.
Your pharmacy and mobility solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
What is commitment and why is it so hard to achieve? The new book, Committed, by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will make you reevaluate the way you think about love. Committed is a relationship manual that unfolds in 2 parts. The work you need to perform on the inside and the 7 distinct archetypes you will encounter on the outside. Committed, a new book available on Amazon by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will help to find and keep the love you deserve. Committed, available now on Amazon.
Out the door, in the car, off to work. The same old morning routine. Take a break and stop for hot coffee or a latte and a fresh homemade cinnamon roll or chocolate cream puff. Donut Delight on Highland Springs Road in Banning is a locally owned family business with a friendly staff and customers who are always glad to see you. Get your morning off to a great start at Donut Delight on the corner of Highland Springs Road and Ramsey Street, right off the I-10 freeway. Serving the Pass area for 22 years. Donut Delight is open at 4:30 a.m. daily.
The Holiday Inn Express in Suites and Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff and spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express in Suites and Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500, or go online at hiebanning.com.
New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littlensons.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you. A big shout out to those tuning in on Twitter and on LinkedIn. We appreciate you as well. Let's see. Okay, so this is the latest, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear it because you go, oh, pandemic is over. You hear, yeah, right, celebration every day. But we're going into the winter months, And I would say if he said this during summer, I would believe it halfway, right? Because I'd be like, okay, we got the latest vaccine. That's good. A lot of people may not get it. Others will. I say get it as much as possible. Okay, just get it. Because COVID 4 and 5 are real bad. They may be like not real quick. But I think he's not doing the math. The scientists are, and they're going, what is he saying? Because we're not over it, people. If we were over, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in total agreement. But I'm not, okay? And I said this way back in 2020, and a lot of people were mad at me when I said, look, I don't agree with what Trump is doing. I now don't agree with what Biden is doing, okay? Because I know people that are sick literally right now, and if you just check your feed of Facebook, and you have more than, like, I don't know, 100 people, maybe even, like, 300, 400 people on your Facebook, somebody has recently said, I'm sick with COVID, okay? I see it again and again. In 2020, I actually posted on Twitter, who knows someone or has COVID, and then I had a bunch of statements, and I'm like, see, it's not a fake thing, because some are like, no, it's a political thing, just to be against Trump, blah blah blah, and I'm like, God, you guys are dumb. And then I got a lot of replies of people going, no, I have COVID. I don't know how many of those are dead now, because we lost 1 million plus. That's a lot of number to, like, that's here in the U.S. Around the world, that's like 6 million all of a sudden in 1 year or a year and a half. That's a lot of people dead all of a sudden, okay? Now, 4 and 5, including 3 of COVID or 3, 4, and 5, are real bad. And the reason they're bad is because they're like a slow roll, meaning you may be in the hospital like for a week, and then your symptoms will subside. You won't be intubated. You'll be released, but then months later you have problems in your body. They call that long-haul COVID. That's what 3, 4, and 5 actually cause. And it's kind of like a prelude from Delta and Delta Plus. Delta Plus actually created a problem for like months on end. Some people can kind of stay with it, but now they have problems in like if they take a walk, they have a hard time breathing, right? They feel like heavy. So that's why I say don't get it. Remember those parties that people were doing just to get COVID? Like, let's I don't know what the thought was on that, but that was like, are you dumb people? Jess?
Yeah, I think they were thinking kind of like the chicken pox parties back in the days.
Wait,
So
there
like,
was such a thing?
Yeah, you never heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, when one kid gets chicken pox, it's like, oh yeah, have them all spread it around so they all get it early and don't have to worry about it.
I did not know that was a thing. Okay, well, I guess I see where it got started. Okay, well, and chickenpox isn't fatal, but if you get shingles later in life, it's something you don't want. But I don't think they did the investigation of that. That's interesting. I would not want to know those people, not going to lie, because I'd be like, okay, you're the first person to get sick and give it to me because you think, oh, let's have a party, So, yeah, those are the pipe. Look, those are the kind of people that will give you gonorrhea, Jess. Thank God we have a cure for gonorrhea, right? Which is, you got to go to the doctor, get a shot, right? That's been around for quite some time, but yeah, no fun.
I don't know why you went straight to gonorrhea, but okay.
Because they're not safe, man. You don't want to get in a relationship with a person like that. They're like, yeah, let's get sick with it. Awesome. Right? Yeah, you're going to be dead with them. Okay, so anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. But here's the situation. Let's go to this one real quick. And it's this. Well, let me put it this way. I've got several things. I don't know which one to talk about first. So almost like we need a 3-hour show. Okay, Jess, you're working on something. Let's go to something that your stuff is more fun than mine. Mine's more like stuff that are happy and catastrophic. I mean, literally, this is a headline, Jess. Remember I talked about Puerto Rico says catastrophic damage after hurricane slams. All right, here's the situation as you can see it, and it's bad, Jess. There are homes that are literally flooded, and when I say flooded, it's not like the normal flood, Jess. This is bad, and I know, again, Puerto Rico is the U.S., in essence, so don't think of it like a little island, I mean, it's a place that you could go, like, vacation if you have friends, but right now, the power's out, guaranteed, and, you think, okay, it's a little, but if they were unable to help them, like, years back when Trump was, well, look, man, it's an island, FEMA was kind of late at helping out, and there's so many problems. You got Mississippi as a problem, with no drinking water. You got a lot of things just failing around the U.S. And I'm like, can we fix the state? You know what I mean? Let's just fix the state. There's so many things that are going on. That's why I say, war is dumb, people. We can't even fix our pipes in certain areas. There's no drinking water in Mississippi. And now FEMA, they're kind of like, hey, let's help out, and they should help out. That's where your tax dollar go, right? That's how they get stuff. But they're gonna need to like do a lot of stuff in Puerto Rico soon. So if you have family there, I would say, hey, give them maybe an out and have them fly home with you and stay with you, because nothing good in Puerto Rico for the next like few months, guaranteed. So yeah, I would do that, because that is a high-story building right there that I'm showing on the feed. And I asked someone who has a family member there. I said, "What story are they on?" She said the fifth level. I said, "Okay, that's good, because I have a feeling there's going to be." I mean, I didn't say this, but I felt it. Like there's going to be a flood, because she was talking about this huge storm. It's huge, Jess, in Puerto Rico right now. It'll pass probably by this afternoon, but the aftermath will be bad. So that's the situation. So big shout out to our own people who have family there, and yeah. All right, Jess, go and share what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Okay. I saw this. I saw this actually last night, and I was just like, it was pretty interesting. Would you eat GMO vegetables, right?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I don't.
Okay. So,
but I will say this. I don't know if I do, because if someone prepares it, I may. Does that make sense? But I try not to buy them. But sometimes they're so darn cheap, I'm like, you know what, why not? And sometimes it's all they got.
that is true. Apparently, they're going to be introducing a new tomato on the market, and it tastes like a tomato, smells like a tomato, and it pretty much looks like one, except for there's one small catch. It is not red; it is purple.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people want to eat that. So it's a purple tomato?
Yeah, the USDA has approved a genetically modified purple tomato, clearing the path for the unique fruit to be sold. Yes, it is a fruit, not a vegetable. From a plant, from a plant pest risk perspective, this plant may be safely grown and used in breeding. Apparently, has a lot of healthy benefits to it, and it has a longer shelf life than the garden red ones. So. Yeah, the tomato was developed by a team of scientists, including the British biochemist. Why does that sound weird? I obviously don't use that word as much. Kathy Martin, who is a professor at the University of East Anglia and a project leader at John Ince Centre in Norwich, England.
Okay.
So yes, pretty soon we'll be having purple tomatoes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna say this, Jess. It looks kind of fun. It kind of looks, I mean, if you showed it to me, it looks like a plum, right? So I would not think at the onset this was a tomato, 100%, right? That's number one. Number two, why are they doing this?
It has more benefits than the red ones, plus it has a longer shelf life compared to the regular red tomatoes.
But it's modified. Anything modified genetically is never good for the environment, Jess.
Apparently, they were feeding the purple ones and the red ones to, test mice, and the ones that would eat the purple ones lived 30% longer. So, who knows? I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Then. But I will say this. If we ever have a thing like in the next few years when it comes to like, there's just something wrong about genetically modified things. I know they keep saying, look, they always equate, and they say this. They say, okay, there's hybrid, right? Like there's certain plants that are hybrids, right? But that's more like when you grow something with something else and you get a hybrid, all right? That doesn't mean you go into the science of it. You take out certain like things and then you grow it in a lab. That's different, all right? And the problem with that is like they take things out and they put things in that they think is good, but then it gets bad eventually. Like I'll give you an example, pickles. Okay, pickles. If you look at certain pickles, like there are certain things in the pickle that rots them ahead of time, which is why I've had to take back like a few pickles, right? And I love Clausen, not gonna lie, all right. But I don't want like E. coli, okay? Because if it's like rotted or purplish, and it's a green pickle. That's called, send that back, because you're gonna get diarrhea. You can get a lot of problems in your body. You're not gonna like, okay? And that's a pickle, because the food supply, and certain people will admit to this. when you have seed, and this is why I'm against GMOs technically, but you never know when you have a GMO, fruit and or vegetable. But I have a problem when you introduce, like, the fact that the USDA had to approve this, Jess. Like, they approve certain things, but you have to approve I get it. It's not really a thing. People don't. But I think the science is, like, shortly done. And you said on mice, how long is what?
Yeah, it said apparently the mice lived 30% longer. So, yeah, they were modified to alter its color and enhance.
And how much longer? Like a day or two, or what? Like how? Like were these years? Did it add on like years from eating some? And maybe it's because they finally got fed. Maybe they put up against certain. Was it? Did it get fed anything good? You know what I mean? So, and how many? Was it like 8? Because they always like test out like a little was it like thousands of little mice?
That's a good question. I doubt they would give their findings to anybody, but I don't know. I mean, I find it interesting. I don't know. I remember Casey told me about a pink pineapple. Have you seen those? Those are another GMO fruit.
Again, I think they're introducing too much stuff into our food supply. Like, keep it separate. Here's what I say, okay? I sound like one of those. I hate sounding like this. Okay, but I'm gonna say this in the best way possible, okay? It might be fine at the beginning, okay? But there is something about natural seed that I say bundle that away, put it somewhere, and keep it safe. Because if this food supply ever goes like short, or if there's a problem eventually, it's usually because it's something modified, okay? Seed has been here before man. We all agree to that, right? They've been here since the age of the dinosaur, right? And some go, no, we've been here like since dinosaur. I say no, I don't think so, but maybe, I don't know. Dinosaur isn't here, we're here, right? Okay, but plant for 100% has been here. Thanks to like a variety of things that happen on Earth, right? Somebody said they recently found gold because of a volcano. There's a lot of minerals that come up from the Earth. It's odd, right? But, that's how rock forms. That's how, there's a lot of things that happen to make a seed grow or germinate, right? Called earth or soil or dirt, right? If we look at our body, our makeup of our body, you look at the minerals in your body. When you put, and I hate to say this, but when, for example, certain people are, cremated, right? You look at the minerals of a body, and you're like, that's it? That's all I amount to? I think it's called, 28 grams or something like that? When burned, we're 28 grams. I mean, when you burn it all, right? You get rid of every bit of you, and then you take the mineral compound of that. And you go, wow, that's it. So when it says, from dust you are, and to dust you will return, when you decay, you become in essence that, right? So it's interesting how we're made, and it's interesting how we kind of continue. But I have a problem with this because, and there's a lot of movies about this subject, Jess. I know you know them, where the food supply goes bad at some point. And I think it's because modified seed gets part of regular seed, and then it creates a problem for the food supply of Earth. That's when everyone goes, how come our everything, our fruit, our vegetables, and everything else goes bad eventually? I think it's this. I think it's the introduction of stuff like this, and they've been introducing a lot of stuff. The fact that they have to get approval. I say this: people and farmers keep certain vegetation separate from modified. And oh, by the way, that was a lesson when you think about Jurassic Park, Jess. When you think of Jurassic Park, you remember there were certain fields that are like, well, that one is modified and that one is not. Why are the locusts eating that one and not the other one? Right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The locusts were designed to not eat the modified seed and eat everything else.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. And what happened to the locust? Remember, it was a problem. So anyway, look. There are scientists that go, no, this isn't good. Then others go, no, this is good. And I go, whenever you modify anything from nature that is normal, right? Okay, I'll give you an example. There's certain tree that suffocate other tree, Jess. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I did not.
Yeah, there are certain plants that kill other plants. Did you know that?
I'm just gonna shake my head, pretend I'm smart. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, in Hawaii, I found this out to be true. There are certain trees that suffocate other trees and are like stuff, right? Now they live, but they kill others around them. Okay. So if plant can do that, why would we want to take a plant like that, put it in with a fruit or vegetable that we know, and go, oh, but it grows a lot. Yeah, but it kills the others. So back to Killer Tomatoes, Jess. I think that movie was a lesson. I think the killer tomatoes are purple. They're not red, Jess.
Oh my God, I forgot about that movie. I loved it.
Those
It was
are
so cheap.
modified fruit. Like, you think about it. That's how they become. Remember that?
I do. I don't know if a lot of people remember Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, but
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. One's behind you, Jess. Be careful. All right, we're gonna say goodbye to everyone in a few. I will say this: download our app. It's free. KMET, $14.90 AM. Go get it. I will say the situation around the world is a little like yikes. In our own neck of the woods, it's fun, right? You have fun with your fam. I will say this, Jess. Recently, I went to the store. Remember Odyssey over in Pasadena? And I saw parents with their kid buying Pokemon cards. So I was like, you know what? That is a good job. And I saw the kid going like, yeah, I can't wait, right? They went with several friends. I saw a family member with his wife watching on their phone off to the side because they're waiting for their kid to have fun with the tournament of Magic. And I was like, you know what? You are good parents. And they were like from Asia, I think. And I was like, you know what? You guys are doing exactly what I say. Have fun with fam because you never know how long fam is going to be here, right? So that was good. And I appreciated that. And then, Jess, and I think it's almost sold out. I don't know if you saw this. The tournament in Vegas is like 80-some% like sold out, which I don't think we can get in now, Jess. What do you think?
Yeah, if I can get time off, I would totally go.
I know. So I say this. Look, we've been promoting stuff for fun and fam, and when you see little kids like 8, 9, and they're, with other kids, like I saw some girls partake like in Pokemon. Jess, we got to get together. I got to show you a different way of playing Pokemon, but I think it'll take off in a few years. I don't think people are ready for it, but I think we could be at the forefront. So we got to meet up. All right, so people, make it a great day. Whatever you do, remember life is worth living. Live it well, and remember, be safe. Okay.